Well, December capping off a tough month for Wall Street. The Dow losing 9.7% this month. The Nasdaq down 10.2%, and the S&P 500, well, that's down nearly 10%, 9.9. Will the volatility remain in the coming year? Let's bring in John Grace, a financial advisor. So, John, are we going to need Dramamine sedatives, or are we going to break out the champagne in the new year?
Well, stay tuned, Eric. No one knows how this is going to unfold, but I'm suggesting that we might call it volatility with a vengeance. I believe this just is the beginning.
And what do you think will happen?
Well, it can go either way. We've said much of the year that we could blow up from 25,000 to 30,000 on the Dow. I'm submitting that from either level, whether it's 25 or from here, or if we bounce up to 30,000. Be prepared for a 40% decline. I mean, no one can see the future, right? But I believe that the preparation is what it's all about. It's not the prediction. It's being poised so that if it is time to run for cover, we already know what the exit strategies are to keep our assets intact.
And what would those exit strategies be?
Well, they would be customized. I mean, you've got to see, if you look back at 00 to 02 and again 08, 09, the accounts that shifted automatically by design to either cash or alternatives held up better than those accounts who continue to hold shares or exchanged old shares for new shares, and that's what many of the prospectuses allow the portfolio manager to do while the ship or the Titanic is hitting the iceberg. We want to salvage those accounts and move money out of risk assets in a bad year like 2008 into cash or alternatives, and then back into risk assets in 2009 to enjoy the melt up from 2009 certainly to 2017.
And what about those who say, well, it's kind of an artificial situation because it has to do with the tariffs and the government shutdown and some of that uncertainty that actually is government made and kind of artificial, not a underlying indication of the strength of the actual economy?
Well, it might be, but if we look at everything we've seen in the past, we never were able to see the bus that could disrupt our day coming down the street. It's always the bus we couldn't time, we couldn't name, and we just didn't see it coming that could make us go, oh, S, and of course that stands for oh, shucks. So I'm trying to say, don't look for what you think is going to happen, because often it's much worse than you imagine. And if we're prepared for what is worse than anything we've seen before or anything we think we're going to go through, then I think we can hold up better as opposed to saying, well, it's not this and it's not that, so it probably won't happen, and then it does. I mean, just notice, as you pointed out, if we go from peak to trough from September 20th through Christmas Eve, markets were off 20%. That's pretty darn quick. Now, can you really identify what caused that? I might say it was the trade tariffs. I might say it was debt. I might say it was demographics. I mean, you could name climate change for whatever you like, but at the end of the day, being off 20 is pretty dramatic.
Well, markets did zoom up from 18,000 to 26,000, so we just have to have everyone keep an eye on it. John Grace, thank you for your advice.